Hello guys, welcome to Technicado Pro. Today we will start second Jenkins lecture. In our previous lecture we learned how to install Jenkins and how to enable the UI for Jenkins. Today we will understand how to create a pipeline, an automated job, and what the Jenkins UI look like and what other things we need to look into it. So this is our Jenkins URL. This is the dashboard, the default dashboard that will be open. This is the address bar here. This is the username with which you log in here, and this is the main dashboard parts. So first one is the new item, that is the job that you will create, then the build history, manage Jenkins, and my view. So we will come to these things one by one. We'll start from the first thing only. We'll create a new item. That means the new automated job that we are going to create is from here. So we'll give a name for this, and we'll select these types of pipelines are available here, and we'll come to it one by one. So first we'll select a freestyle project, and we'll click OK. Yeah. So this has opened a new section where you have to customize your pipeline according to your need. You can just give a description of it. So okay, these are different options that you need to understand in order to create a pipeline uh, according to your need, because if you are working in a project in a company, you need to understand the requirements, that how the process works there. So first one is discard old builds. What does it mean? It means that uh, first thing, that what here we are creating it, this is a job, correct? So whenever a job is run every time, that is called a build. So I'll show you just like this only. I applied it, I have saved it. Okay, so this is my job, this is my test job, and if I click on build, here you will see the build number. So let's check it. Build scheduled, and this build is created here. You will see here, this is the console output, and we haven't given anything, that is why it is giving us success, because it has nothing to do, correct? So I'll come back to this job again. This is our test job, that means this is our first automated Jenkins job, and inside it, how many times it has run? It has run only once, and this is called the build. If you see here, if I click again, it will run again, and you will see that second one is also success again, because I have not made any changes, correct? So here this is my test job, and it has two builds here. So I just wanted to show what build means, correct? So we will come back to this configuration of this test job. I was talking about this discard old builds. So we will use the log rotation method only. And what we'll do, this means that how many builds you can keep in your Jenkins UI. And after that, whatever number will be there older than that, that will be deleted. So like suppose I want to keep 30 builds in my history. So I will just keep the number as 30. I will not mention any number of days. Okay, second thing is GitHub project. If your test job is fixed and you know that the project code will be picked from one GitHub URL only, then you can paste it. But this is not recommended, because if you are using GitHub, there is another option in the later section that I will explain to you. These three are advanced level options which we will learn in the future once we will use a pipeline type project. Okay, so you can ignore it at the moment. Source code management. Yeah, so I was talking about that GitHub URL, GitHub project URL here. So you don't need to give it here, you can give it here in the source code management, because it supports Git, Jenkins, and you can give the URL here and the credentials, the authentication credential here. So currently I will show you without Git first, and then we will go for GitHub URL once we are in the pipeline type project. These are another build trigger options. So how the build will trigger? So just now I showed you some builds options. Like in the test job, there is two different builds we ran. So sometimes it happens that there are different jobs running in the same environment and it has different builds inside it. So like suppose I'm creating this test job and I want it to run after a certain job named test job 1. So test job 1 should run first and then test job this one should run after that. So this will trigger according to that. So you have to provide a remote link for that. The first option is that build after other projects are built. If you are mentioning this option, then you need to provide the project name. Build periodically, you can mention the schedule. Like in Unix you provide a cron job, you can mention it here. Hook trigger and poll SCM, again these things are advanced thing in we'll understand in the pipeline work. Build environment, delete workspace before build starts. So workspace is where all the builds are stored. So do you want to clear out the previous workspace, then you click on this. Secret text files, again this is a very advanced level thing, don't jump into it right now. Add timestamps to the console output, it is already there by default, but if you want to add something specific, you can add from here. Correct. So these are all the things here. Now we have to add a build step. So build step is uh, here you need to use build step only if you are not using any GitHub repo, like the option here I showed you. We are using none option, so you can use a shell script because you need to provide some commands here. Okay, in order to work in order to tell the Jenkins that what it needs to done in the automation, you need to provide few things here. So for that we have taken the option of shell script here. Okay, so simple thing is like we can give a simple command like simple hello world and we want to print it. So we will just give this echo hello world. Correct. And we can test some other commands also, like which user we are logged in with for Jenkins. Who am I? We can create a file also. Touch and then we can check how many are there and we can print the date. So this is just a test purpose shell script which we are going to run. So we will apply, we'll save it. We are again in the test job again. We already have executed two builds which had nothing. Now we will create a new build. Okay, here see the third one is already completed. We'll click here. Now left hand side I need to explain, like first one is the console output that we will see whether it is success or not. We need to check the logs for that. So you can see here it is started by the admin user. I am the admin user here and it is running on the system. Building in workspace, so this is your workspace. You can check this workspace also if you want. Just go to the server. Here you can see here only one test job is available, there is nothing else. What is inside this test job? There is only one text file which we have created uh, in this script. Okay, we'll see how it was created. Now this test job, the script that we created, it's an runtime script. Runtime script means when the job is running it will be available in that period of time. Once the job is completed, that is the build is completed, this shell script cannot be viewed inside the server. Okay, so what was the script? We wanted to print hello world, it printed. We wanted to see the user with which this Jenkins pipeline is running, so it is running with Jenkins user. Okay, then we created a text file, correct, and we listed it. We wanted to see how many files were there in that, so it gave us only one. We printed the date also. The date is June 6th, 6:33 UTC time. Okay, so this is how the uh, freestyle pipeline works. But again, freestyle is just for understanding purpose. Don't use it in a project. We'll understand how to work in a project level environment with the help of a pipeline project. Okay, so uh, and in this there are few other things. This manage Jenkins part that I wanted to uh, explain it to you. If you come to this manage Jenkins, this is the Jenkins settings, the all settings that we need to understand here. The first one is systems, tools, plugins. So plugins, if you have installed Jenkins as an admin user, you must have seen some default plugins that were installed, which had something like GitHub, Git, and these kind of plugins. And if you want to add more plugins, you can just install it from here. Like if you want to see available plugins, these are the plugins that are already been installed by default. Okay, sorry, these you can install. Sorry, my mistake. Installed plugins are here. These ones are the installed ones. See, are and these are available there. Some are by default. You cannot change it. Some you can enable or disable. Okay, so available plugins you can install from here. Anything like pipeline stage view, if you want to add, you can just install it. So it's installing it right now. You can see here, you can restart Jenkins or not depending on how it works. If you see that it's not working, you can click on restart Jenkins. If it is working, just leave it like that. Okay, so I'll show you this plugin that I have installed later. But again, these are the settings of this. And under clouds, if you are working on a EC2 or Azure plugin or GCP cloud, you can install a plugin related to that. Okay, and again, like if you work on ECS, EKS, or Docker, Kubernetes plugins, you will need EC2 plugins, you will need depending on the requirement. Again, we will come back to it later. These are the nodes. So suppose if you are, so you can see here currently it has only one node. But if you are working in some, because if you are working in an ECS or an EKS environment, you will need to have more than one node because it works on the architecture of master and slave architecture. Currently we are using EC2, that's why we have only one node. You have to add new node from here, node name, you have to provide some details and add it. The other things are nodes, these are tools. System configuration, what system configuration you will see, just let it roll. So you will see what things that you need to add here so that you can have more efficient working of your Jenkins pipeline. Correct? So this is your home directory that has been given, and these are, if you are working on a default configuration, you don't need to add anything as of now. We will learn these things again in the future. These are the security things. Configure credentials, credential providers. This will be utilized when you are working in a team and you want to create some users under your team. Okay, so we'll come to it one by one in our future lectures. So basically I was trying to show you the dashboard view. Currently we have this one job who has three builds. You can see here the build history. Yes, and these you can go from to previous build from here also. You can check all these things, how much time it took to complete. So these are the things. And if you see here in the test job, this three, this number you can see till 30 because we have set up in the configuration as the build log rotation till 30 number of builds. Okay, so this was the basic understanding of our Jenkins. In our second lecture we will continue the pipeline type project in our third lecture, and we will explain other things related to it, plugins and other things. Okay, so you can refer my first video for Jenkins installation and Jenkins UI installation, and we'll meet in the next lecture for Jenkins pipeline project. Thank you.